Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. I think it is dishonest for the Kenya Kwanza administration to be sending emissaries to former President Uhuru Kenyatta, demanding that former President Uhuru Kenyatta should actually support the Kenya Kwanza administration. It is hypocritical in that matter. And I think since the KK government was formed, they were critical that Uhuru Kenyatta's policies is what affected this country. So after Uhuru Raila meeting in Mombasa, the deep state is disturbed and they're sending emissaries to former President Uhuru Kenyatta. In this podcast, I will demonstrate why the calls for Uhuru Kenyatta, the fourth president, to support William Samoei Arap Ruto is a hypocritical call. But before that, I want to say thank you. We are still in the county of Kakamega. This is the final lap of our project. We're building 3 houses for these 3 elderly women in Kakamega. In Kakamega. And what happened is they were actually staying in one house, the 3 of them, because the other one used to have her space, her place, but it became hostile and dilapidated, and she had to be moved in this place where even where they stay, it is in a bad state. So they had been sharing the room with the other, who is also her friend. So that is where we came through to support them so that we can have each one of them have a house. I want to tell you thank you, because today the 3 houses are up and standing, and I just want to show you, this is the first house. They have done mabati, mpaka wameweka changa, and they're now just finishing up. One aspect remaining is the door and the window. I realize the fundi za wako space ya window, but they need the door and window. The house number 2 is also going on here. As you can see, they've already done the roofing ya juu, they're on the wall, and then what is remaining is the door. And the house number 3, I just left this evening before I started shooting this video. When I retreated back to shoot this video, the fundis were actually on site and they're finalizing on the roofing. They're actually doing mabati, as you can see. As they finish mabati, they are going to do the wall. What remains in these 3 houses is doors as window. Ile kitu nimebakisha ni mlango na dirisha, and all of them, guys, will have to buy them a mattress. That is normally our culture. That is part of what normally happens in this project. So each one of them, nataka tuwabaie mattress. So the deficit of what remain, I need someone who can offer and say, I am buying a mattress. A mattress goes to around, I think, 3,000 or 4,000. And then one door and a window, each one of them, one house will need 2. So one door and a window per house is a maximum of 15,000 one house, 10,000 one house. So that means for the 3 houses, we need 30,000. Then if you can get those who can offer to buy them the mattresses, so that we hand them over on Friday. Hey, ni kesho. Then on Friday, we will be done. And I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. I've been here for the whole week. It has not been easy, but I told you that by the time I will leave going back to Nairobi, I want us to raise our heads up and say we have achieved it, and we paint a smile on their faces. What we have done to these 3 elderly women, most of you are not just on the ground, but I can tell you the impact is huge. We've made a difference. And so that is what remains. Kindly, let's just chip in kidogo so that we can finish up. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to listen to Esther Passaris.
Wajua Kenya imekuwa na marais, Jomo Kenyatta ameshaaga, tukawa na Moi ameshaaga, tukawa na Kibaki ameshaaga, tukawa na Uhuru Kenyatta ambao bado yuko hai. Na wajua ni kitu muhimu sana rais ambao ako kwa inchi na bado ako na uhai, ashikilie ule rais ambao yuko kwa kiti sahihi, kwa sababu akikosa kufanya hivyo, right, serikali yetu haitaenda vizuri. Na kwa sababu unajua anakaa na baba, na baba ni mtu ambao akiangalia vitu anaangalia Kenya vile inaweza kwenda. Kitu nataka kuomba Rais Uhuru Kenyatta, tafadhali, baba anajua kuweka differences aside na kuangalia Kenya na kuangalia vile Kenya inaweza kwenda mbele. You're the only living president, past president of the Republic of Kenya. You have huge investments in this country. You have family in this country. You can sit down with William Samoei Ruto, with Raila Amolo Odinga, and people of like mind to drive this country in the right direction.
Passaris has an argument, who is the ODM women rep in Nairobi and a close ally of President William Samoei Ruto. Passaris has an argument that the government of the day can work well and can only succeed when the former president, the only living former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, supports the administration. I want to say this, and for people who follow this podcast, I have been intentional and I've had a stand that this perception that people have to come to bring everyone on board to achieve development is actually a tool of mobilizing people to support your political ambition. And then you masquerade behind the narrative that if I have Raila and I have Ruto around me and I have Uhuru around me, then I'm going to achieve. That is not the target. The reason why this is a message that is targeting the former president Uhuru Kenyatta, I want to tell you, Passaris was talking in Machakos. I think she should just keep her mouth shut on dragging Uhuru Kenyatta's name in this. Uhuru Kenyatta's name is being dragged intentionally because of that Kilifi meeting. I'm telling you, that Kilifi meeting sent shockwaves. I saw someone asking me, Kevin, why do you think so? It sent shockwaves because there were two possibilities there. It was either Uhuru Kenyatta convincing Raila Odinga and telling Raila Odinga about the consultations of Uhuru Kenyatta consulting with Raila Odinga about the next course of action, or an attempt by Raila's camp to have Uhuru Kenyatta support the broad-based administration. But all in all, one of the things by Raila's team was to boost their bargain in that negotiation. So ladies and gentlemen, it is not true that William Ruto honestly needs Uhuru Kenyatta. And I want to demonstrate to you that one of the things that has affected the delivery of programs of Kenya Kwanza is what is called rigidity and dismissiveness. Let us use for a very good example. I want to demonstrate for you something on SHA. This is Nandi Women Rep confirming that out of the over 20 million people that registered for SHA, only 2 million, only 3 million have paid. And she's saying that that is the problem why that SHA cannot, the 3 million people that are contributing cannot cover the health needs of the 20 million that are already registered.
Barabara ambayo mumengoja siku mingi, na niko sure Afisa Faruk vile alikuja hapa aliwaambia mpango wa SHA ni mpango mzuri na ni mpango ambayo serikali ya Kenya Kwanza ikiongozwa na Rais William Samoei Ruto imetilia maanane na mkazo ya kwamba kila mwananchi baada ya hizi miaka ambazo tuko hapa hapo mbeleni, miaka 6, miaka 7, utaweza kwenda hospitali, uweze kutibiwa, uweze kupewa dawa, uweze kupatiwa referral, uweze kuadmitiwa kama imezidi, na uweze kutibiwa hadi ukuja nyumbani bila kulipa hata shilingi moja. Tuko kwenye barabara ya kuelekea pale. Shida ile tuko nayo kidogo ni mambo ya kulipa. Ya kwamba tukiongea siku ya leo, watu ambao wameregister kama members wa SHA ni watu milioni 22. Lakini watu ambao wanalipa SHA, ile inaitwa payment ya kila mwezi, wala wameandikwa kazi na wala ambao wanalipa kwa, privately, ni watu milioni 3 peke yake.
So let me tell you, unlike in the defunct NHIF, by the time NHIF was actually closed, By the time the transition happened, for the 60 years, NHIS is rumored to have only had 9 million active members. The word is 9 million active members. There was something with NHIF that if I don't contribute, I will not expect any money. If I don't contribute, I will not expect for the government to pay. But here, the president goes on top of car and says the government will pay for those who are actually not able to pay. And the controller of the budget as a margin have said that the 104 billion ICT system, I agree that government have not spent a shilling. I agree that. It is true the government has not even spent a shilling on that ICT system because it is leased. So out of the money we collect, we are paying 2.5% to that deal. It is true. But again, it is true that that system is fraudulent because we spent 104 billion. We are supposed to pay 104 billion for the next 10 years. And because we are paying, we are not collecting enough to be able to cover the claims. And Nani said, I listened to a clip from Sifuna and Nelson Havi today. They were saying that the SHA should be shut immediately.
Can we agree before this committee that we want to terminate that contract and what are going to be the consequences? Because we can't continue to allow people to enjoy proceeds of crime. Let's just declare this SHA and SHIF a criminal enterprise and we'll close it today and face the consequences in those courts of arbitration. What handicap do you have from your office, Madam OAG? What is this thing that stops you from making recommendations on what should be done? That is where the frustration of the people is. I mean, it is one thing to declare that the law has been broken. Why is it that your reports never say let's jail people? I don't understand. Like, we should be told that we need to pursue criminal proceedings against so and so and so and so. And then even for us, Honorable Chair, when we interact with these reports, I have been asked by Kenyans many times. So you come and you make noise in Parliament and you say, oh, this thing is bad. But in terms of real consequences, Kenyans are very frustrated, Honorable Chair. There are no real consequences.
What else are we waiting for? Shouldn't we then be asking for administrative action, for people to be fired, for people to be investigated, for people to be arraigned in court? And those people are not just the people on the government of Kenya side, but including the system vendors. If there's a breach, then perhaps there are two parties to it.
Parliament or the County Assembly debate and consider the report of the Auditor General and take appropriate action. So if we start from there, then we can agree that every institution has a role and mandate.
And when the president responds to these allegations, he dismisses and says that those who are opposing SHA are only opposing SHA because they used to benefit from NHIF. Get Ruto's response and try to look at the problem. Then find out, is he responding to the question? Is he responding to the problem, or is just dismissing everyone like that is an enemy?
Na ndio sababu nimefanya consortium kubwa. Tukasema we are going to have a consortium of technology companies that is going to make sure that there are no fraudulent claims in SHA. And they are going to make sure that that system will not be paid for by the government of Kenya. It will be a fee-for-service facility that will make sure that we protect citizens' contribution. The people who are complaining are the fellows who have been stealing from us. They don't want a technology system that works, because they want to continue stealing from us. I want to tell them the stealing is over, my friends. Move on. Hakuna tena pesa ya umma itafujwa kwa mitandao, hata mujaze makaseti, makaratasi na nini marangapi. Ati ndio mtulazimishe turudi nyuma kule kwa NHIF muendelee na kuiba. Haiwezekani.
Us versus them. I've given you that example. And I want to give you another one. In Mandera, there is a video where the locals are bringing down banner ya rais. Look at that. They're bringing down the presidential banner about failed promises. And you know what has caused this? Uko, someone was making a joke, and it's true, that in Mandera, people have to cross over to the neighboring country to charge their phones because hakuna stima. In Mandera, the president left recently and was shouting on top of car that I have lifted vetting for IDs and have constructed road, the constructed of Isiolo Mandera Road. The famous barabara song of Nitoka Modagrashe, ingia Ruma, I don't know ingia where, alafu ifike Isiolo, alafu ifike wapi. Remember that? When the president went to Mandera, he presented the two as the problems of the people. He presented the road and that ID. Now, when immediately he left, the people are saying, we don't have water. And because of unfulfilled promises, they're bringing down the presidential banner. Come on, ask me. Give me an answer. How is the president, Uhuru Kenyatta, going to support Ruto with all that? How is? Amepata support ya Raila. Raila's people are in government. Some other Jubilee people are in government. How is that going to change? And that is why it is dishonest to say that, you know, you need to support the government because if you support the government, it's going to succeed. No. What you need is that you need Uhuru Kenyatta to support you so that you can run the broad-based narrative across the country and run a narrative that even Uhuru Kenyatta is supporting the Ruto regime. And I feel that is a very dishonest narrative. Now, let me tell you, there are three reasons why the president is demanding for Uhuru Kenyatta's support in the next general election. I want to tell you that. The first thing is, I think the president is realizing that when Uhuru Kenyatta decides to support the other side, the Rigathi Gachagua camp, there is going to be no middle ground. The race, 2027 race is going to take shape. And in that context, the side that is going to support is coming clearly to get a bigger backing from Mount Kenya. That is the first thing. The second thing, the president seems to be looking for Uhuru and Raila support. Just for one. And I want to say it. Oscar Sudi have said that if they don't win election, kama kura isipotosha wataongeza. These two gentlemen, if they side with the president, they will be conduits of legitimizing the power grab in 2027. In 2027, the country is going to do a coup against the president. The population is going to do a coup. And nataka imagine the president ameshindwa kwa vote, lakini he has the backing of both Raila and Ruto, and Raila and Uhuru. Tell me, what will stop him from saying I've won? What will stop him from pushing his agenda through it and say, because there will be an aspect of believability. The other issue is if Uhuru Kenyatta is getting disturbed that by the fact that Uhuru Kenyatta is coming in the picture and is emerging the middle ground there, Raila Odinga is getting an option away from the deal. It's getting an option away from the deal. I insist and repeat, it is not true that you need Uhuru Kenyatta for shut work. It is not true that you need Uhuru Kenyatta for the roads to be done. But what you are hiding under success of government by getting Uhuru Kenyatta, but in real sense what you need, you want the president's support so that you can be able to run broad-based narrative.